you should be creating 2 classes. One of them should have Overkill with 2 really good weapons, and then you should copy that class and replace Overkill with Ghost. And we're going to get into why. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to buy your first loadout drop with Overkill. So it's going to have 2 really good guns. And then you buy your first loadout drop, you get your 2 really good guns, you're good to go. You play the game. And then the next time you get a loadout drop, which is usually the free one that like drops randomly on the map for the community, you go to that second loadout drop. You could also buy a second loadout drop, but usually it's the free one. You go to that second loadout drop, and you already have 2 custom weapons that are really good. You choose your identical class that has Ghost in it, and then you're going to drop the guns you're currently using. So now that you have your Ghost class, you're going to swap to your secondary, which is a pistol, and then you're going to swap it out for your original secondary. So now you still have 2 really good guns, but you also have Ghost, which means you're not going to appear on UAV or heartbeat sensor, and you're going to be really well situated to bang it out. So we're going to get into that a little bit more if that didn't quite make sense. But here is the loadout in general you should be using. So for the blue perk for your custom class, the meta used to be cold-blooded because everyone was running thermal snipers. No one really runs those anymore. Most people don't. And a lot of people are running RPGs, which we went over last episode. And RPGs just got buffed, so you can expect them to be even more of a problem. So the blue perk you want for your custom Warzone class is EOD. You take less explosive damage. It's that simple. It helps you with RPGs. It's also going to help you with exploding helicopters, exploding cars, frags, Semtex, C4, etc.
You know all about the helicopters and cars crashing them.
We know all about
black helicopters
for sure. So so I would recommend EOD, and I don't think cold-blooded is really worth using anymore. And is anything else even in the running, in your opinion, Tanner?
There's nothing else in the running. Yeah, the only time I see thermal snipers now actually are the ones that are dropped on the floor. I'll occasionally see one of those at the beginning of the game, and I'll pick one up just to use as a sniper. But after that, you don't run into anybody using them anymore. So that's good, because that was very annoying when that was the meta.
For sure. And then as far as your yellow perk, you should be running amped or tune-up. So what amped is going to do is it's going to give you faster weapon swap speed. So when you have your fucking growl out and you want to switch to your MP5, if you have amped as your yellow perk, that switch is very quick, as if you had a pistol, which comes in super handy. You also use equipment more quickly. So you can throw C4s faster, you throw down your ammo box faster, and that also comes in handy, especially being able to lob C4s more quickly. That can save your life. And it can be the difference between blowing up some enemy's car and not being able to do it in time. But mainly you do it for the faster weapon swap. Tune up, on the other hand, lets you res your teammates 25% faster, which is big. It's a big difference. So this is really good, but in my view, you usually want to avoid resing teammates in a pinch anyway. So if you really need 25% faster res speed because it's so sketchy, well, that indicates you probably shouldn't be resing at all in that situation. Regardless, there are some times where you have to go for it, and in those instances, tune-up is really good. But obviously, if you're playing solos, for example, tune-up is literally useless, so don't use it. Use amped. Are there any other yellow perks that you would consider, Tanner, or anything else to say on yellow perks?
I don't think it should be amped almost 99% of the time. I mean, tune-up, if you're rezzing, yeah, I mean, like you're saying, you should be in a safe spot anyways, because most of the time when I get down, I end up just getting full killed. Because, you know, usually you're in the open or something, you're in a doorway. They're able to put a few more bullets into you and kill you. So I think most of the time, tune-up is worthless. And you should be running 2 good weapons in Warzone. So amped is for sure the better perk almost every single time.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that 100%. And as we were saying, on your first loadout, you want overkill so that you can have 2 really good weapons. And on your second loadout, you're going to swap the exact same class, except it's going to have Ghost on it. And then you can pick up your second weapon, and then you still have the 2 primaries, but you also have Ghost. The reason Ghost is so good is because you don't appear on UAV and you don't appear on heartbeat sensor. And everyone uses heartbeat sensor, and UAVs are abundant. So if you have Ghost and your whole team has Ghost, if you're not shooting and people don't see you, they can't know you're there. Which is great. It's good if you're playing aggressive because people won't be able to pop a UAV and see you coming up to their building behind them. But it's also good if you're like in a building yourself and there's a team you don't see that's like running past you right outside and you're like not ready or whatever. If they're doing heartbeat sensor, they might decide not to clear the building you're in because you all have Ghost and they don't know you're there. Whereas if you don't have Ghost and they heartbeat sensor, they know you're in the building. You don't know they're outside. And then they surprise you and you're all dead. So Ghost is insanely strong. It's insanely good. And it is by far the best red perk in the game. I think for multiplayer, but I also think for Warzone. I think Ghost is the single strongest thing you can have in Warzone. Period. So you definitely want to be running Ghost for sure. And that's why we have it as our second loadout. You get the 2 really strong weapons and you swap it out for Ghost.